Looks like it's all coming through now. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure what happened there. Everything was working before the show. That seems like a fair amount of work that was put down from this afternoon that was put down the drain. But the beauty of it is I can splice it back together in post-production for the podcast distribution side, I guess. So there is that. All right, so let's see here. Try to make sure that I'm not missing anything else, because when everything botched as soon as we went live, somehow or another, I got booted out of the studio. So it's something else. It's something else right now. That's about all I can say. It's definitely something else. So let's see. Let me see what I can do to put the pieces back together of the episode that just kind of gotten completely dismantled. That nothing quite went the way we had planned. Imagine that, though, right? See what happens here. See if I can get everything put back together. Okay, so everybody in the chat, everything's still going all right. Hey, it's been a minute since I've done a show. Obviously. So I guess first off, at the beginning of the show, did anybody hear the clip from Swing Into Summer that was starting to play? Because that'll kind of give me an idea of when the problem arose. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good enough. Good enough. So we'll run it without the audio clip. That's simple enough. And maybe I can work that audio clip in on another episode. I mean, earlier, and that could be because of the audio glitch that happened when we went live. I know earlier it looked like everything was doing what it was supposed to. Coincidentally enough, while I've been in here working on that audio clip and getting ready for the show, we've had a cricket in the studio that, honestly, I wasn't sure if the mic was going to pick it up or not. And no time to try and track it down or anything like that, obviously. And now, strange as it may seem, it's gone. I don't hear it at all. Who knows? Maybe he decided to take a nap. I don't know. Either way, suffice to say, we're back. We're live, barely. Uh, after hitting, you ever see those warnings? Don't hit the red button. Well, there's a reason why they're in place. Somehow or another, while all of this was going on, I managed to kill the entire system and had to reboot while the bumpers were rolling, which probably made for one of the longest lead-ins that we've had with the show. I don't know. Either way, enough of that. Oh, actually, there is one other thing I have to do. Doesn't mean that it'll work, but there's one other thing I have to do. Okay. So now, maybe, just maybe, I've at least got that part. I'm working on some things in the background here. One of those deals where you're not planning on doing it at that point, because that's why we prepare. But hey, it is the way it goes. Yeah, had a bug in the system. Yeah. So I guess we had an audio clip set up to run in lieu of the bumpers tonight, and some of you may recall the audio clip was from a couple of years ago. Swing into summer 22. We did a live remote and opened the show with Mike. And you could just tell that he was enjoying himself. He was having a blast. And the clip, I mean, it kind of said it all. Mike was doing exactly what he loved to do, what he had the passion for, the hobby, and having fun, meeting the people that were in the hobby, like-minded individuals, things of that nature. Unfortunately, I'm not sure where that clip went in the mass exodus restart. Kind of strange. I can leave the room and try to get back in. Everybody's still here. But boy, it took me a little bit to get back here. And I gotta say, it was a little bit frustrating. But we made it back. And it may seem kind of strange, But I thought, what better way to celebrate Mike and what he has done in the hobby, and the connections he's made, the people he's met, the friends, all of that, than by doing a show, running that clip, letting people share fond memories that they may have had of Mike, the first time they had met, or just the contests that they enjoyed, anything like that. And the plan was, well, I guess for those that, I mean, everybody should know by this point, but unfortunately, Friday, Mike Lacquement was found deceased in his apartment, and it came as quite a shock to all of us. Definitely a surprise. And when I got up and saw the message, when I got the message that morning, I'll be the first to admit that that was not the message that I was expecting. And Mike had been, just a few days ago, he had been online. His daughter has made a post in the Metal Detecting Central Illinois Facebook group about Mike's passing. And I don't know if there will be any further details. You know, like for folks that are in Mike's neck of the woods, if they would like to attend any services or anything like that, I don't have that information for you. I don't know if there will be, won't be. Hopefully that information will come to light in the group. And we have taken that post that his daughter posted, Marissa, and made that a featured post in the Metal Detecting Central Illinois group. So for those who have not had the chance, please, if you're a member of the group, go over, find the post. If you're accessing the group through a smartphone, you can find the featured tab right at the top of the group, and that you'll tap on that. That will be the first post that you see. Please take a moment, go in, maybe read some of the comments yourself, or leave one yourself. It really would mean a lot to his daughter, I believe. She knew that Mike really, really enjoyed the hobby and the people that he met. And many of us have been fortunate enough to know him for many years. And we've seen the evolution of the group. We've seen how the Metal Detecting Central Illinois group has grown over the years. And that is in a big part due to the great member participation, and Mike Lacquement being such a driving force behind everything that went on in the group many times. The contests, the statistics, the welcoming of the members, all of that. And recently he even expanded on the admin team. Well, not too far back, he had expanded on the admin team and added Lauren in as a admin. I see Lauren's in the chat tonight. And let's see here. Okay. So we've got confirmation in the chat from Lauren. Marissa says at this time they're not planning on any services. So for those that are in Mike's neck of the woods, it may not matter. And that is one of the reasons why I felt compelled to bring everyone together for the show tonight and just give everybody an opportunity to share a memory in the chat. You know, something that gave you a good laugh, or something that you remember Mike about. And you know, it it'll give everybody a chance to see the impact that that Mike had on people. And I see Ian's in there. Let's not forget the X-Files. Yeah. See, and it was things like that. I've seen comments, you know, people are like, oh, I loved seeing his posts. He always kind of, you know, pushed us on to get us to learn something new. Trivia, his trivia contests. Someone else had said that they always got a kick out of his posts about the asylum or inmate 420. Like we see in the chat here tonight, the X-Files. Good stuff. Good stuff. And the group has just grown so much over the years. And it seems to be growing even faster and faster. But it doesn't matter which way you cut it. It sucks. It happens. Many people will say, as a matter of fact, I think Jack Chapman had even commented and said, hey, I know you're offering open lines for people that want to call in tonight. I don't want to call in because I don't do very good speaking in front of people. But I do have to say that Mike was a great friend. He had a huge heart. You'd never find a better guy. So, and that, I don't think I could have worded it any better. I don't think I could have worded it any better myself. And we do have tonight. Oh, welcome to Dylan. Welcome aboard, my friend. And yeah, Lauren, you've got to be fairly close. He was in his 70s. And he was a member of the Illinois Iowa Treasure Hunters group. He loved Swing Into Summer. Absolutely loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. That's why I had tried to get that clip around for tonight. And unfortunately, I kind of screwed that up. So that's on me. Apologies for that, folks. But we do still, I was able to manage to resurrect the phone lines for tonight's show. That way, if anybody does want to call in and, share a memory, anything like that, one of the things that they enjoyed about him, or even about metal detecting Central Illinois. Hey, this is a great time to do it. And don't look at it like, I don't do well talking in front of others. I would think at this point, after the post that was dropped before the show, obviously in here, we're amongst friends, and we all have that common binding thread that we all knew Mike in some way, shape, or form. Some of us have been fortunate enough to get to meet him in person and know him. Others, we know him living vicariously through his posts or the interaction that we had with him here on the chat of the show. He was a big part of the show and a huge supporter of the show. And that's you could say that's one of the things that makes this show a little different from all the others, and this episode such a tough one to do. But we figured, what better way? I mean, obviously, there's no disrespect intended. None at all. But what better way to remember Mike than amongst friends? Many of you in here, you've interacted with him in the chats, or knew him, or hunted with him. And the clip that I had from Swing Into Summer, yes, Scott, Chuck knows about Mike. I did make sure to reach out and let him know. So Chuck does know. And Chuck says that it's very sad news. He's sorry to hear it. It was definitely a surprise. and we figured we'd give him a heads up. That way he doesn't get blindsided with it when he comes back stateside. So Chuck does know about the unfortunate circumstances. And it is sad that it happens. It is. The audio clip that I had selected from Swing Into Summer, you could hear Mike laughing and having a good time. And, well, let's see. Well, thanks, Scott. You could hear him laughing, having a good time. And he was talking about reconnecting with old friends at Swing Into Summer 22. And even getting to meet new ones, make those connections, meet Jack and Janet and Phil and Shannon, Richard Kruckmeyer, me, Tam. And he really enjoyed himself. And he said it best in that clip. He's like, this is what the hobby's all about. Meeting everyone and having fun. And that's what he did. For those that are wondering about that clip, if they missed that live remote from Galesburg, they can find that clip in the archives. And I don't know, I want to say it's the first 20 minutes in, I would imagine. Probably something like that. And nice. Dylan says that Mike was one of the first people he started talking to when he found the show here. Excellent. And there have been a number of comments left on Marissa's post over on the Metal Detecting Central Illinois Facebook group. And Tam and I have been going through reading a lot of those. Yeah. That's a good point too, Kevin. That he had such an appreciation for meeting anybody at an event that he was able to meet, whether he did any hunting at the event or not. He just liked being able to get out there and see all the other people, getting to meet them. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Lauren. He really was a great guy to meet. You would have liked him. Definitely. So, who knows? I mean, without the audio clip, and the rocky start that we had with the show, it may kind of seem like a one-sided conversation, so to speak. But it doesn't change the fact that it, like I said, I just I felt compelled to do a show in memory of Mike, and at the very least, whether or not anybody wants to call in and share anything, give them a chance to take a minute and share those comments in the chat of the things that, like I said, the things that they enjoyed or the things that they got a kick out of. And it's actually been some of those comments you folks are leaving have been rather humorous. But that's the way Mike was. And I don't think he would want anybody to, you know, he wouldn't want anyone to dwell on it necessarily. He would want everyone to continue to enjoy the hobby, continue to have fun with it, continue to meet those new people, cultivate those relationships, those friendships of the people that you can meet at the different events, whether you're able to participate in the event or not able to participate in the event. Sometimes it's a little tough to be able to participate in the events. Obviously, depending on, you know, what that individual has going on at the time. But it was very sad news, obviously. And I can't help but think, and some of you folks in the chat will understand this. You've seen the posts that Mike likes to make from time to time, whether they were little memes or graphics or anything like that. And I just have to ask myself, you know, he had been found in his apartment Friday. But not just any Friday, Friday the 13th. You got to kind of wonder if Mike wasn't just laughing hysterically about that. I don't know. And I'm sure that everyone will remember the posts about the marbles. He definitely had plenty of those. Yeah, exactly. Don't lose your marbles over Mike's passing. That's good, Dennis. That's good. And in some ways, I'm sure that it does some of us good to see these comments in the chat. Because when something like this happens, I mean, we really are kind of like a big extended family, so to speak. And when you're used to seeing somebody episode after episode after episode in the chat, because it was a rare thing for Mike to miss an episode. Even on the rare occasions where he had fell asleep or was a little under the weather or something like that, and he didn't get to the episode while it was live, that guy had come back and he'd listen to the replay. He'd listen to the archive. He'd read the chat, see what everybody had said while he was away. He definitely was a diehard. Not only for the hobby, but to the show and the chat as well. And man, did he love when we'd play Dig Your Plug. He got such a kick out of that. I can remember way back when we first started that, after, I don't know, the first or second board, he had sent me a message and he says, "Hey, how many pull tabs do you have on the board?" And I'd tell him, "Well, I don't know, it's this many." "Good. Take them off. We're going to put tokens or something in their place. I'll figure out something that I'll put in place of the pull tabs because we want everybody to win something." And then he'd be right there. We're running the board off, and he's taking these packages that he had put together and putting them into envelopes and addressing them right there real time during the show if he already had the winner's address, and then getting them off in the mail to him as quick as they could. Well, yeah, as quick as he could. And people got such a kick out of some of those prize packs he'd send out. And it really is a shame. I mean, coming up to Halloween and Thanksgiving and even Christmas, everybody looked forward to his Christmas contests. He always had such a good time with it. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what happened to the audio clip. Maybe I can find it and stitch it together for the podcast distribution side. It won't show up here on the YouTube side, but, well, it may for the episodes that fall over to YouTube from the podcast distribution. But we can at least try to get that clip in on that part. Sorry, I was I got sidetracked. I was reading there. See, and this is why it's good when people are able to tag the channel, because it, with the theme that I run, it shows up like a big neon sign to me. And Scott, that is a phenomenal idea. I like it. Uh, it might take me a little bit to figure out how we're going to pull it off. Because that's, I'm going to have to pick up some extra shipping supplies and things like that if I'm shipping out that many prizes. Uh, but I would think that we could definitely pull something like that off. Welcome to Liz, which, as I mentioned before, we have been in contact with Liz, and we'll have her on a show, an up and coming show, sometime here in the near future, whenever she thinks her schedule is good for that. And we'll hear about everything that's going on up in Canada. It's been a while since we've had a Canuck on. I mean, sure, we get, Steve drops in from time to time. But yeah, I definitely like the idea. I like that idea, Scott. We'll see if we can't make something like that happen. It may take me a little bit, though. I mean, this month's kind of tight, but maybe next month I can start getting things around to prepare for something like that, and then we can make that happen. We'll just do a Dig Your Plug Mike Lacquement Memorial Edition. And I can only hope that whatever the small prizes are that I can find to ship out will do justice to him in the interesting prizes that he shipped out to everybody during Dig Your Plug. Definitely. And let's see. Looks like Scott's trying to tell somebody how to tag the channel, I believe. Not sure. I don't know. Either way, obviously, you folks know, those that have played Dig Your Plug, you know how that works. We have to have the phone lines in place for that one. And then can't play if you don't call in. That's just the way that game works. But it has been a fun game, and people have gotten a kick out of it. And I do. I like that idea. We can see what we can do about that. That's a very good idea, Scott. Definitely a good idea. And it makes great sense, too. Uh, that's kind of a neat idea, too, Lauren. I mean, if we use prizes that, some prizes that people won from him in the past. It'll be like Mike's sending them out all over again. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens. Either way, obviously, tonight's show was nothing like anyone would have expected. And it's not like, believe me, it's not like I enjoy doing shows like this. But I just could not shake the feeling that this one had to be done. Like I said, no disrespect intended, nothing like that. It was just a way for everybody to, kind of share their thoughts, their memories, all of that. So, and I'm glad to see that there were a number of friends that turned out for it. And it was nice to see one of the last posts that Tam and I could recall seeing from Mike. He had recently won a shirt on Detect America. And you folks know how the shipping can be sometimes. Frank's Forever stamps take forever. I'm joking. But for whatever reason, this one got sent out right away. And Mike was able to get that and post it up. So it was good to see. And you got to understand, with Mike, it never was about winning the prize. He just liked to have fun with everybody. The prizes were just a bonus. And he definitely, it goes without saying, he was a giver. Huh? Yeah. I don't know. The phone lines are open. Maybe they're glitching up on me, though. I can try to check and see here. It looks like they are. I can't help but wonder if, well, and the phone lines may have been open, and I might have missed somebody's call. I'm not sure. I could blame that on the hereafter, but that could quite possibly be the here and now. I don't know. So I'm not sure. Hopefully the phone lines didn't glitch too. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if they had. I mean, you just never know around here, and then even if they didn't, who knows if they cooperated or not? Because there it looks like It looks like we got a caller in, but I'm not hearing anything.
I'm here, Josh. It's Lauren.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
We almost had
Josh?
another death notification. I about fell out of my chair.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, good.
Hopefully the people in the chat can
Sounds
hear
like
you as well.
Sounds like that commercial. Can you hear me?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
can you hear me now?
Yeah. I'm so very devastated, especially when I got that message from Marissa yesterday morning. And I've been crying on and off the last 2 days. And I can't. And I may cry now.
It's tough.
I know. I never got to meet him, but I knew him. You know, being an admin for him, we'd be messaging a lot. And
oh, yeah, the countless messages back and forth.
yeah, I mean, he would show me his calendars that he had like 6 months, 9 months in advance and what he needed to fill out still.
And I'm working on these contests.
Yeah, and he'd show me the contest, not the answers, guys. So don't worry about that. As you could tell,
no, he
I
never
got
showed
him
any
right.
of us the answers.
Yeah. And, you know, 2 of his favorite holidays were Halloween and Christmas. And
exactly.
he was looking forward to Halloween so much.
And the
contests. He showed me and he showed me the contest, you know, some of the contests that he made up. And you have no idea how much time he spent and research he spent on these contests.
Oh, yeah, this man put countless hours and effort into these contests that everybody got to enjoy.
Right. You know, and going through all the historical things and making us work, try and win the contest, you know, broaden our horizons by learning new things from these contests. It wasn't just a contest to him. It was to help us. It was to help us learn things too.
Absolutely.
And I appreciated him so much. And, you know, he would get so frustrated when his computer would break down. And you don't know how many times throughout the years that he would say, oh no, the computer crashed and I'm afraid I can't get my stuff back. And the frustration that he had. But
in trying to recover those lost files. And I know there were a couple of times I almost sent him a computer so that hopefully it would make things a little easier for him. I mean, it wasn't working for me for the show, but it would have worked for him for his contests.
Yeah. And, you know, I wish that, well, first of all, he and I both had a lot in common. He was a little older than me, but he was divorced. I'm divorced. He's living alone. He was living alone. I hate talking about him in the past tense. And I live alone. So we had a lot of good talks, and I'm going to miss him a lot.
Oh yeah, the hobby definitely suffered a major loss, as well as his friends and family.
Yeah, and I wish that I could carry on his contests, but I'm on disability and I have a limited income, and I'm shaking as I'm talking, as you probably can tell.
Right.
And I'm on a limited come. So I don't have cable. I don't have internet. I only have a phone, no computer. And I love doing games like that. And I would love to be able to carry that on for him. But I just don't have the means to do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure that it would be great to see the contests continue, but the amount of time and effort he put into the research and creating these contests for everyone to enjoy, it was very taxing, not only time wise, but financially wise.
And brain wise.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, financially, no, I don't have the means to do it. But time wise, yes, I do have the time to do it. Because, like I said, I live by myself. And he and I both have a lot of physical problems. I don't detect as much as I want to, only because I have a bad back. I've got 2 torn rotator cuffs. Got the list can go on, but that's why I said I would have the time, but it just wouldn't be the same without him.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
wouldn't be
I
the
mean,
same without him.
unfortunately, and certainly no offense meant, but I mean, we could all try to do what we could to duplicate those contests, and
Yeah,
it I just feel like it would be one of them things where, always imitated, never duplicated.
yeah. I think I could do the contests okay. It's the calendars I couldn't do very well. Oh gosh. He, yeah, he had calendars for months. I don't know what Marissa's going to do with his computer or what all is going to happen. But
Right.
if I hear from Marissa that they do decide to have services, I will let you know. But at this point, there are not going to be any services because it's just Marissa, her sister, I think an aunt, and maybe a niece or nephew is all the family that he has.
Right. And I can understand that. Um,
Yeah.
and I know
And they,
she did mention she was working on trying to get his Facebook profile memorialized.
yes, yes,
So
she did say
that
that to
that'll
me.
be a nice touch.
Yeah. And I did put in the chat, um, if anybody would like to send a card to Marissa, please message me on Facebook and I can give you her address. You don't
Oh,
need
very
to,
cool.
uh, but it might be a good gesture for those that, you know, want her to know how much we cared
How
about
much?
him
Right.
and her.
Because I told her if she could make a post about, because she had contacted me and I had told her, I said, look, you say that you're trying to prepare an announcement. I can post it on your behalf if you'd like, but I think that you should really post it yourself. We'll make it a pin post on the group. That way you can see for yourself the comments that people are leaving and know the impact that he had on everybody's lives.
She made a beautiful memorial post for him.
She did.
It was
Yes.
it was just everything that he was.
Yes.
And in her message to me, um, she messaged, I think, just me and you Saturday morning.
Okay.
And she said, I wanted to make sure I messaged you because Dad had mentioned to me how much that you meant to me, meant
Right.
to him, you know,
Yeah,
which
exactly. I
just,
mean, basically, I received the same message verbatim that she had wanted to let both of us know because she knew how much uh, he respected and appreciated us, and how much we meant to him because he was constantly talking about us, apparently.
yeah, yeah. And that just got me bawling. I cried so much yesterday. And
Right.
I cried a little bit today when I was talking to Janet Chapman, too. Maybe just a little bit, right, Janet? I think we both were bawling for a while. So,
Well, it
well,
came as a big shock.
I know it did.
So
It did.
sudden.
So sudden. I mean, we all knew he had some health problems, but he was looking forward to getting his knee replacements and wanting to get out there and detect again. And he already had his cataract surgery, which was great for him.
Yeah.
And he was happy about that. And, he was looking forward to life.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
That's kind of the thing that really got us with it, because he had been working so hard to get his health on track because he wanted to come to Ohio and visit us again. And,
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it just wasn't meant to be, apparently.
no. And I don't know if you saw in the chat that my dad also passed on a Friday the 13th, 3 years
That's
ago.
eerie.
It was August 13th on Friday the 13th.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild? I don't know if that's a coincidence or what.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't help but think when I got the news, I'm like, what are the odds? He loved the Halloween holiday and everything. Friday the
Yep.
13th, really? Did he pick this day or something?
Yeah, you wonder if he did. You wonder if he did. But I know he was looking forward to the Halloween contest.
He was, and I'm sure you had gotten the messages too. He was already working on the Christmas contests.
Yep, yep, yep. Well,
And
I'll let you go. I don't
it's
know if anybody else will call in, but please, you guys in the chat, call in and just talk. Doesn't matter if you cry. I am, so.
Or at least go
Hello.
over to Metal Detecting Central Illinois and leave a comment on Marissa's post.
Yes, Marissa would appreciate that very much.
Yeah,
All right, well,
I think so too. And if you could, send me her address. I'd like to get a card in the mail to her myself.
okay, I'll send that to you, Josh.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, I'll let you go. Bye-bye.
Take care. Hang in there.
I'm trying, you too. Bye.
Oh my God, the phone lines worked. I'm telling you, if there could have been a camera on, I'd like to have fell out of my chair when Lauren said, "I'm here." Oh, not gonna lie, we might have almost had another death notification at that point, because I think it just about gave me a heart attack. But hey, I'm glad that the phone lines did work. And even if there was only going to be one person that wanted to use that phone line to call in and say a little bit about Mike like that, I couldn't think of a better person. I know that Lauren meant a lot to Mike. And in the messages, me and Mike messaging back and forth, he definitely had a great deal of respect for Lauren. And a great deal of appreciation. Just like with many of his other friends and the admins, he those of you that are admins in Metal Detecting Central Illinois, he approached each and every one of you for a specific reason. He had a great deal of respect and appreciation and admiration for you. He knew you would do a good job, and he was confident that the group was in good hands. Nice. Her voice was clear and loud. Good. Well, at least, hey, I botched the audio clip. Okay, I'll fess to that. That's on my shoulders. But we got the phone line to work at least. Hey, I kicked myself out of the show. I got back in. We got the phone lines to work. I botched the audio clip. Yes, it happens. Mistakes happen. There's always the next show. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I mean, believe me, sometimes, if you could see what goes on behind the scenes. Good night, Shannon. It's a production. It really is. And I'm sitting here trying to do all of this stuff and pull it off seamlessly. Well, seamlessly as possible. Granted, we're into a little bit of a new venue this year. So I've had a few wrenches thrown at me that I'm not used to dealing with, to where we're getting better dealing with them on the fly. We are. We're getting better dealing with them on the fly, so that we can bring that seamless show back. And that's something to remember. And most importantly, like I said, we have to remember Mike. I see that if you could hear behind the scenes. Well, yeah. I'll fess to that. Some nights there are some very frustrating things going on, and maybe sometimes people might learn a little bit of a new vocabulary if they were behind the scenes. But I mean, the frustration is real some nights, and it's only because it really is a labor of love, so to speak. I mean, we put on the show for all of you great folks twice a week, and have for years, and continue to do so because of you great folks. You folks make the show great. The guests make the show great. The callers make the show great. I'm just the guy behind the scenes pushing the buttons, trying to make it all work. And, hey, every now and then we get lucky. So I think that everyone has had ample opportunity to leave some very kind comments in the chat. And I do. I appreciate everyone that left a kind comment in the chat. It really does mean a lot to people, I do believe. And please, once again, if you are a member of the Metal Detecting Central Illinois Facebook group, please go over, find the featured post that Marissa made the announcement about Mike, and leave a comment. It really does mean a lot to her. So there is that. And we've ran on for a while since I had the great exodus of show glitches at the beginning of the show. So we're going to roll on out of here. Tonight or tomorrow, we will be dropping the flyer for a hunt in Texas. Wednesday, the 18th, we will have Butch Holcomb and Gypsy Jules on to talk about the American Digger Gypsy Jules birthday bash hunt in Texas. Until then, all I can say is just try to get by. Remember Mike for who he was. Rest in peace, my friend. You will be missed.
We sure are glad you found us here tonight. Thanks for dropping by and joining in. If you like metal detecting, treasure hunting, gold prospecting, or even entertaining discussion, check us out Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on your favorite podcast distribution services.